ho.
Ho, ho, ho,
Oh,
ho,
devilish
ho.
laugh. Ho, 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 ho. I assumed that was the I'm recording
Yep.
smile. You guys should see that. Someday we'll do video and you'll be able to see that. Hi, welcome to the Brothers Game podcast.
I think if we ever do video, it's going to be a little more obvious when we start recording.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's possible.
Yep.
It's possible.
Yep.
Full of the Homestar Runner references today. Mm-hmm. What's up, Brian? Oh, I'm Nicolai. This is Brian.
Yep. Hi, I'm Brian.
And that's how we start the podcast every time.
Yep.
Didn't I say that one time?
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I'm going to do every single time, and I'm going to remember it.
Yeah.
And I totally do.
Yeah.
What?
Well, we knew at the time you were never going to do it again. But
Yeah. Yeah. Good joke from me.
yeah. Real
Brian,
funny, this guy.
What's up?
What's up?
I got tea.
I got a job.
Yes.
I'm pretty. So last time.
Yes. We joked about you being unemployed, right?
Right. We did. But yeah, I started a new job at the same company, contracting for the same company, but
Yep.
just in a totally different role
Different
in
campus,
a different
but
location. But
Not
yeah.
far. And substantially more money.
Yep. A nice
So-
raise. So that was great.
Pretty much better in every way,
Yeah.
which is
I
fantastic.
moved from software into hardware.
Yeah, which
So,
is interesting.
Yeah.
Different.
different, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, yay.
Also, I bought a new toilet.
Yeah, you did.
So when we were installing that bidet,
Dude, what a nightmare that was.
we just realized
oh
how
my gosh.
awful this toilet was.
We
and
talked about
it
that,
turns out,
right? How
about installing the bidet, and so toilets have come a long way in 20 years.
Yep.
I went to Lowe's website and I bought the cheapest toilet they had, $94, I think it
So
was,
cheap.
and it is so much nicer than
Really?
the old toilets.
And
so
that's-
much,
and that's the
And
cheapest
it was
one.
the cheapest one.
I can't imagine what the $400
Yeah.
ones are like.
It's taller.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's really nice. I don't
cool.
have to squat down nearly as far to sit down on it. It's deeper too, which is just more comfortable.
comfortable,
It's nice. Yeah. And it doesn't leak or anything.
That's good. That's good.
It doesn't make any noise until you flush it.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And everything fits on it.
Yeah, I did have to buy a new seat to fit the bidet because the one it came with is curved on the bottom and I needed a flat bottom one.
Interesting.
And I paid way too much in shipping, but I wanted it now, and so
Oh, really?
so
Got the
I
expedited
didn't
shipping.
because I couldn't use the toilet for like 2 days, and I didn't want to make that 4 days or whatever. So I spent like over $30 on a toilet seat. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought that was just the shipping part. I thought you said
Oh,
over 30
no.
shipping. I'm like, that's a lot.
I did spend like $10 on shipping though,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I normally don't
Right.
do.
You would never
but
want
yeah.
to do. Wow. So there you go. Toilet adventures.
Yep.
How wonderful. Toilet adventures.
Yeah. So, other than the job in the toilet, I've been playing video games.
Bruh. Me too.
Yeah.
Who should start on our video game journeys?
I almost always start. You start.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you about a little game. I happen to be wearing the shirt, my super cool Wind Waker shirt. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be telling you about The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Okay. You've heard of it.
Now, HD or?
That's the question, Brian. I played Wind Waker 1.5 times recently. Meaning, as mentioned on the podcast, I started on the GameCube, where I wanted to play through my new copy that I'd gotten from the retro gaming store, just to have done it on my console. So I thought that'll be no problem, and it was fine. It's noticeably an older game for
Right.
sure. But I know the game fairly well, and wasn't too big of a deal. There's a couple specific things that annoy me in that game, though. And one of the biggest things is the grappling hook. Very common item. You use it constantly throughout the game. And there's a lot of sections where you got to throw your grappling hook up
Yeah.
and you swing in one direction.
Right.
And to change directions, which you have to do a lot,
Yeah.
you have to hold down the R button to slowly stop. Then you have to turn Link, and then you have to slowly start swinging again.
Okay.
Okay? And you have to do that all the time. And some of them, there's like these submarines throughout the ocean that have very good items in them pretty much every time. And on one of them, it's like a rope puzzle, basically. It's like a rope course, and it's timed. And it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Mostly because of constantly starting and stopping. But I made it through it. I persevered. And I got quite a bit of the way through the game. I got past the Tower of the Gods, which is sort of the halfway point of the game, I feel like. And then I did a dungeon after that. And so I only had like a dungeon and a half left, basically. And like I did the Forsaken Fortress bit where you fight the big bird. I don't know if you remember that.
Okay. No, not really, but
Ganondorf's big bird guy. And then, out of curiosity, I was looking at an article about Wind Waker HD, which I have for the Wii U, and all of the improvements that were made in it. And after reading that, I'm just like, that's a lot of improvements.
yeah.
And one of the biggest ones is being able to swing in any direction on the grappling hook. And I hate that part.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm too far into this game. I'm like, the C chart's fully completed, like throwing the bait out and getting your C chart fully completed. I mean, I was 75, maybe 80% through the game. But I put on HD to just try it. So I'm like, how different is this? And between just graphically, how much better it looks, it being in 16:9 widescreen
Yeah.
instead of 4:3, even the like controls themselves, like moving Link and stuff, felt better, less janky. I immediately was like, I'm playing through this all again. I'm doing this all again on the HD. Forget it. I don't care. And I did.
Yeah.
I was like, it's HD time. I don't care. It is one of the best remakes in existence, I think, from ones I've played at least.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like an HD remaster. Absolutely not. This is like what HD remakes should be, I think. Not only the little improvements in gameplay and whatever, but even the Wii U gamepad itself is amazing in this. It's your pause screen is open constantly.
Yeah.
And in Zelda, changing items and looking at your maps and stuff is a constant thing you're doing in Zelda. And in this, you just do it at the same time, seamlessly, all the time.
Nice.
Sometimes I have to pause just to look at my gamepad to do something like sort of in depth, but you don't have to. You can literally just keep moving and looking at your map at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of in most Zelda games, basically. And it's like the one game that uses the Wii U gamepad perfectly.
Even in Breath of the Wild, you still have to.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
it is, I think it's the most user-friendly Zelda game they've ever made.
Yeah.
Just because of that. I guess maybe some of the DS ones probably did a similar thing, having two screens, but it just did it really well. And the swinging was so much nicer. Everything took half the time. I felt like I was speed running the game because I'd just done it, so I was able to do it much faster this time.
Yeah.
So I got through back up to where I was in like a few play sessions, no time at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost feel like they should do HD remakes of like every old game.
Yeah. I mean, especially, I don't know, good ones.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It's just like there's so many ways you can improve it, because the thing that is charming about a lot of old games is the story or the
Right.
design or things like that. And they suffer because of the medium of telling the story of the game, that just the graphics and the hardware capabilities of the
Yeah,
console
exactly.
or
The
the
hardware.
PCs they were written for just could not deliver what they really wanted to deliver. And yeah,
And I mean, Zelda's one of the ones they did really well also because they did like Ocarina of Time 3D on the 3DS is absurdly better than
yeah,
the N64 version. It's better in every single way. It's obviously doesn't look amazing. It's still on the N64, or I mean on the 3DS,
right,
but it's similar to Wii U to Wind Waker HD.
yeah,
How much better it is.
yeah,
Yeah, I think RPGs are one thing that do benefit a lot from an HD remake. I think a lot of people are complaining about how half the games coming out are re-releases of older
yeah.
games.
I love that, but I'm a nostalgia guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't
And
always
like
want something fresh.
and like FF7 remake was kind of a completely different game.
Yeah. I
It's,
think of that as different.
I
but
thought it was good personally, but yeah, it is kind of a completely different game.
yeah,
It's like they took the same story, setting, and characters, but kept almost nothing else the same. So
yeah. And Wind Waker HD is in the middle where it doesn't feel like a different game, but it feels like a very substantial improvement
yeah,
in a lot of ways.
they didn't just upscale everything
No,
and
exactly.
call it good.
like the example of a bad one is like the Super Mario 3D All Stars. I mean, great game. I love just a straight port. I mean, they didn't advertise it as a remaster or an HD remake or anything, but it's very much just a stark port. Like
Yeah.
there is no improvements at
I
all.
saw someone was breaking down a comparison of every version of Final Fantasy VIII that has ever come
okay.
out, and showing things that were like pretty hard to argue that they aren't just straight improvements, and other things where it's like, well, this kind of looks better
Is this
in this
actually an
situation,
improvement?
but
Yeah.
doesn't really look better. Like he showed the original graphics of the very first release for PlayStation, and versus like the PC remake or something, and everything like got smoothed over.
But like in a bad way.
But in a, yeah, exactly. And so
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, sure, it looks smoother, and
It's like,
but
now
it's
it's just
not
weird.
in a good way necessarily. Yeah,
Totally. Yeah. So, just quality of life improvements and stuff like that. It was just so much better to play it in HD, and I'm glad I switched.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to sort of 100% it. Like I've done that in the past in this game. It's not that bad to 100%, and I remembered actually quite a bit of where stuff was, surprisingly, even though it's been quite a while. I had to look up just a couple things, but so I was nearly done. I had everything basically. I could go and beat Ganondorf, and I was a few heart pieces down. This is one of the games where you only need 4 to get a
Okay.
full heart container. I know in like Twilight Princess it's like 8 or something. It's like
Jeez.
6 to 8 somewhere. It's ridiculous. So I got a list of all the heart pieces, and I'm going through, and I was having a hard time. I was like, I've done all this. Like I really tried to look through everything. I was like, I've definitely done all of this. So I went back through the treasure charts. And this is a huge part of Wind Waker.
right.
There's like 46 treasure charts. They're little blue, paper charts you get through various things. You get them all over the place from different chests and stuff. And each one corresponds to one of the islands on the big map. And it shows where buried treasure is, basically. And this can either be, it's usually rupees or a heart piece, pretty much always.
Right.
So I looked at all the ones in this list that were heart pieces, and I went through every single one of my charts to be sure the island matched and the number of what chart it was matched. And so I confirmed 100% I got all the treasure charts with heart pieces. And I was starting to think, did I skip one, a full heart container after a boss? Was my concern at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's no way. I would never do that. Like, one thing about me in games, having high max HP is one of my top priorities.
Yeah, I'm similar.
Yes, that is always a priority.
Being able to
me.
just tank everything is great.
Yes, 100%. Like in Zelda, I'm always stoked to get a new heart. In Paper Mario, even I really like doing HP upgrades, even though you don't as much in that game. I feel like.
Actually, I guess I don't really give a rip in
Yeah,
Paper
in
Mario, but
you
in
don't.
most games, yeah.
And like Kingdom Hearts, the maximum HP upgrades are like scripted. They happen after certain bosses and stuff.
Right.
But I'm always stoked when that happens. Like, so that's like a thing. So I would never skip one.
Tangent. I think
Please do.
part of the thing with Paper Mario for me is the fact that there's no damage rolls. Damage is the same every time.
It's so mathematical, yeah.
And so I know exactly how much I can survive.
Right. So there's no reason to overdo it.
There is the whole close call badge and timing the action command right to
For sure, to block and stuff.
to both reduce incoming damage if you time it right, and the occasional just avoiding damage entirely with close call. But other than that, it's like, as long as I know I can survive the next hit, I'm good. But in RPGs where there's damage rolls, high rolls and low rolls,
real.
you don't know if the next attack is going to hit. And then, of course, there's critical strikes.
Often
too.
crits, yeah. Yep, there's no crits in Paper Mario.
Yeah.
Which I kind of want to play Paper Mario now.
Yeah, right.
It sounded good. I was like, action command. Yeah. Paper Mario.
Yeah. But yeah, so you never would have left a heart container.
So I like, and I'm thinking back on all the bosses, and I was like, there's just no way. There's just no way. But I was missing like 6. So I was actually missing 7 heart pieces. 7 heart pieces.
Wow.
And 2 of them I knew exactly. I was like, those are big long quests that I know I haven't done yet. So I know those 2 are there somewhere. So there's 5 pieces left. So it's either I missed 1 and a full container, or I somehow missed 6 or 5 heart containers, or 5 heart pieces. I mean, so I was like, if I get another heart piece, this is after another heart piece, so 1 more, basically 2 more from that time. I was at the point where I'm either missing a heart container or 4 pieces, and I'm not sure. So I look through the list again, and I go for and I was looking at the first heart piece you can get, which is in the Forsaken Fortress after you get thrown in jail in like the very beginning of the game.
Okay.
And I was like, surely I didn't miss that, but I'm going to go check. And I did miss that. I was like, thank God I found one. But it meant that I got that. It meant I was missing 3 heart pieces besides the 2 I knew I was missing. So I was like, how did I miss 3 heart pieces? That makes no sense. So at this point, I knew it wasn't a full container. I knew it was exactly 3 heart pieces. So I went and did the other 2 quests to get the other 2 I was missing, even though they're meaningless at this point. So I'm at 19 hearts out of 20 and 1 heart piece. And I looked through this whole list again. I checked my treasure charts again. And I went and checked like half of the ones, even though I knew for a fact I had them. And I had all of the ones I knew for a fact I had. So I didn't double check every single one. And I guess maybe if I had, I would have found the 3. But I gave up.
Wow.
I actually just gave up. I'm like, I don't know what happened here. I doubt it was a glitch. I'm sure I just missed something. But this is ridiculous. And then I just went and fought Ganon with 19 hearts.
I was waiting to hear that you were like, and then I was like, oh, duh. But
Oh,
no,
duh.
you didn't.
Nope.
Just gave up.
I
huh?
gave up.
Wow.
Because it was ridiculous. I was like, I don't know what happened. This is crazy. I did all like the hard, long quests. There's like this big trading quest with items and like these Goron merchants. There's one where you have to get this mystical water in a bottle that only stays mystical for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you have to go to all these 8 islands and water these trees. That gets you a heart piece. I did that. There's one where you have to hit this guy 500 times. 500 times.
Wow.
Did that. I don't know what happened, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I said F it, and I went and beat Ganon. Ganon's not too tough in that game, but very cool, very cinematic and cool. It was funny. I had tons of money going there, and obviously I had nothing to spend it on at this point. So I used an item I've never used ever in this game. You get the magic armor.
Yeah.
Which is a Zelda item I rarely use in any Zelda game. But in this game, it's basically you put a force field on, and anytime you get hit, you lose rupees. It like spends rupees instead of hearts.
Oh,
basically.
interesting. Okay.
Very odd. Very odd. Some of them, I think, in some games, it uses your magic, which makes more sense. But yeah, in this one, it's rupees, which I thought was interesting. And I had like 4,000 rupees.
You can't kill me. I got cash money.
Yeah, I was so loaded going into Ganondorf, I was never hurt. I spent almost all of I had just a few hundred left at the end.
Yeah.
Because I got hit a lot. But I didn't have to be careful. So yeah, against Ganon, I never took a single hit because I just lost money instead.
Wow.
It's great too because
That was very cash money.
yeah, it was very cash money of me. Every time you get hit, like rupees fly out of you literally, and like it makes like a losing rupee sound. So yeah, he was just beating lunch money out of this kid for a while. But it's okay.
This
I
kid
shoved
has a
my
lot of
sword through
grandmas.
his- yeah, dude. That's a great ending too because you shoved the Master Sword through his head in that game, which is so messed up. Especially because it's like this super cartoonish looking game, but it has the most brutal ending to Ganon. So yeah, that was it. And that game has a new game plus where you can play through the whole game in your pajamas if you want to.
Nice.
And I considered just replaying it again.
Yeah.
Even though I had already beaten
Find
it.
those last
Yeah,
three
exactly,
pieces.
right. And have like a checklist and be like,
Yeah.
I know I got that one.
Yeah.
But it was very fun. I haven't played it in a long time, so it was a fantastic playthrough overall.
That reminds me of just finding all the all the Mickey
the lucky emblems.
the lucky emblems in Kingdom Hearts 3. Yep.
Yeah, did you ever get all of them?
Yep.
Yeah, I did as well.
I think I 100%ed the game. Well,
Yeah.
that's not true because I didn't go through.
You didn't get Ultima Weapon?
I don't think so.
I don't think you did. I don't remember.
No.
I don't remember that.
No,
I did.
because the
I
weapon
did my second playthrough.
the weapon I wound up using was the pirate weapon.
Oh, that one's good.
Because yeah, it was
The pirate one and
better than anything else I had.
tangled
Yeah.
one. I love the tangled one
Yeah.
because it makes magic stupid strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the only Kingdom Hearts games where magic is really good.
I think when I played the Remind DLC, I got a new Keyblade of some sort, and then
yeah?
I went back to the pirate one because I'm like, no, this
You're
one
like,
is
nah,
better.
pirate one's awesome. It also looks great.
Well,
it's a great looking
it
Keyblade.
also did look good, yes.
Yeah. But Ultimate Weapon's really good in Kingdom Hearts 3.
So, speaking of old games and like newer versions of them that are better, the most recent game I've played, normally I try to go in like chronological order or whatever, but this goes right along with what we were talking about. So, I had never really played for very long Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for the original Xbox.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Game from like 2003 or 4.
Yep.
Also a BioWare title. Apparently, I'm just going through BioWare's
Interesting,
game catalog.
I did not know that was BioWare.
Which before I played Mass Effect, I had never beaten a BioWare game before. I also have 2 other BioWare games to play through.
You're just going through the BioWare catalog right now.
But so
That's awesome.
I booted it up on my Xbox, And okay,
I bet it looks
so here's the thing.
atrocious.
I play.
It's like booting up Oblivion. And you
I
just
play
go,
Pokemon Red
"Ugh."
and Blue all the
God.
time, and those are ancient games. I play I play my N64 games. Those are
Right. All the time.
much older, and they hold up just fine, and they don't bother me whatsoever. This game, I was like
horrific.
I was like disgusted.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and it wasn't just like the looks I can get over. I'm not a big graphic snob. I never have been, but it was so glitchy too, just horribly glitchy, and the load times were horrendous.
Yeah,
and then it would
What a
just straight up
shame.
freeze on me, and I was like, okay. So,
That
and
just
then I
sucks,
looked
yeah.
up and just saw how much more, how much better liked the PC version was.
Right.
And then it turns out, because of the way this game works, it is far more intuitive on keyboard and mouse anyway.
Oh, interesting.
Which I don't feel that
That's
way
rare.
about shooters,
Yeah.
which most people do. But about this game, absolutely keyboard and mouse all the way.
Huh.
So I bought it on Steam, and it is so much better.
Yeah.
It looks better.
Just made to be on PC.
It's way
I
less
guess.
glitchy. It's still glitchy.
Yeah.
Very glitchy.
Sure.
I just, right before you came over, the game just went black. The screen just went completely black.
Awesome.
None of the menus worked. I had to just close the game.
Good times. I feel like that era was just like that, man.
Yep. It's just something you just dealt with.
That rules.
But yeah, it's a game that very much shows its age.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
did not age well at all.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, what are you doing? How is it? Is it okay?
It's fine.
Yeah. Are you gonna keep playing it? Do you think? Are you gonna?
Yeah, I feel
trudge your way
obligated
through
to.
it?
So I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is not prioritize doing all the side quests. I'm gonna just play through the main storyline. I think I can probably get that done in under 40 hours and
Yeah.
then I can say, okay, I've beaten it. I'm good.
Cool.
But the other BioWare game I played, and I had already started with the last episode, but I've now finished it, is Mass Effect 3.
Yes. Yes,
And
you finished all of Mass Effect.
Yes, I did. Well, the original trilogy anyway. There's still
Yeah.
2 games that I haven't played. But
So
I
you
don't
beat
really
all
care
of
about.
Mass Effect. Cool.
I think 3 is the best. I
Yeah?
liked it the most.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't hear that. I feel like.
And I kind of don't know why people like 2 the best.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that from a mechanics perspective, it's an improvement over 1 by a country mile, but 3 is better for me.
Cool.
Just from both a story perspective and yeah. So after playing the first 2 games, I was like, all right, I'm gonna plan out all of the side quests so I can get them all done and just go through them real quick.
Yeah.
I had a spreadsheet
Nice.
because
I got to do that for heart pieces.
that's how I do things. Yeah,
otherwise,
you do.
otherwise I missed 3 of them apparently.
So, keeping track of which quests were prerequisites for other quests and where they happened and stuff.
Prerequisites.
Where was.
I have prerequisites.
It was such a pain that I mapped it out on a spreadsheet. Like, okay, this is prereq for this, and this it takes place on this planet, and this is where you get the quest from, and this is where you go to complete the quest. And this is like I had all that mapped out so that I could just go boom, boom, boom.
Gotta get that boom, boom, boom.
Yep. It's funny, the Citadel looks and feels completely different in all 3 games.
Interesting.
It's the same place each time, and sure, after the first game, it's kind of destroyed, but like
That'll do
it's
it.
absolutely massive. So really, the damage didn't cover like the entire thing or anything. But yeah, just the places you can go and the things you can do are completely different in all 3 games, which is interesting, I think.
That is kind of weird. Like you'd think they'd keep it really consistent, to sort of
Yeah.
get that feel, that immersive
Yeah,
feel.
and there's
maybe.
similarities to the ship, the Normandy, between the 3 games, but there's also a lot of differences in all 3 games
Yeah.
as well. So,
Interesting.
yeah. Mechanically, it's a lot more like 2 than 1.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And the character interactions. So Liara, who is an Asari, she's like one of those blue skinned
Oh, the blue
aliens
alien
with the like kind of
tentacle hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
She is
Blue
back
Medusa.
on your team. In the second game, she's not. It's in the first game, she's just this like awkward scientist girl,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the second game, she's like a hardcore
Just
like
goes
information
nuts.
broker
Nice.
who's like working in the underworld, and
Heck
like,
yeah.
and then in the third game,
She got hard.
she's kind of back to doing science stuff and does the info broker stuff on the side, and she's
Interesting.
a bit jaded now.
Yeah.
She was kind of sweet and innocent in the first game, and she's just like all of the joy in her life is gone.
Yeah, it's like when you meet like an alternate timeline person and they have like a scar and an eye
Yeah,
patch. You're like, whoa, what happened to you?
War.
Very cool.
Yeah, and so let's see. In terms of difficulty, I think 2 was really one thing 2 did very well is the difficulty. I think it was pretty well done. I never had to change the difficulty in 2, but and there were a few fights that were rather difficult, but I made my way through them. In 3, they introduced some new enemy types, and they were extremely difficult.
Yeah.
So
Dang.
with otherwise speaking, not that hard, but then one of these enemies shows up and they amplify the difficulty level substantially. So there's
Dang.
like 3 different ones. There's the Brute, which, by the way, lots of overlap between Mass Effect and Halo, I'm just going to say. Turns out Space Marine sci-fi games have a lot of overlap.
They can only be so different.
Yeah. But these brutes are just like these imagine like a zombie gorilla.
Okay. Very nice.
Reminded me of a creature of Grimm from Ruby.
Yeah.
And this thing, so you can have enemies have health, sometimes armor, sometimes shields, and sometimes a barrier. And those are like the 4 layers.
Interesting.
So these things have armor.
Barrier.
And a lot of it, and they will charge you. And if that charge hits, it takes out your
basically
shields are
dead.
gone instantly. And if they hit you again, you're dead. And so those things are tough. And
Big
then,
boys.
There's banshees, which are
Purple flying machines used by the Covenant.
they are Asari who have been basically turned into zombies.
Oh.
And
Nice.
so they have like psychic abilities basically.
Whoa.
And yeah, so they're tough.
Yeah.
But actually the hardest enemies, in my opinion, are the phantoms. They are they work for Cerberus, which is this organization who you actually worked for in the second game, and then in the third game they're evil.
They're bad boy. Whoa, that's crazy.
So the Phantoms are a special unit they have that have that they're basically the ninjas
Wow, nice.
of their
Heck yeah.
group. But they have some sort of ranged attack. I guess it's like throwing ninja stars or something,
Nice.
or an equivalent to
kunai.
that, which instantly takes out your shields.
Nice.
Just one hit, shield's gone.
Nice.
And then they can kill you really quickly.
Oh, God.
They are the most broken enemy in the game,
Nice.
easily. So I get to
That's fun.
I get to very late in the game. There's this guy who shows up who's like this cool assassin guy. He kills a council member and then tries to frame you for it,
Nice.
which is pretty easy to work your way around. But in all the cutscenes, he totally beats Shepard, and I'm just like, what? No.
What? Come on.
This ninja wannabe beats freaking Shepard, who has been through all this
I'm Master
other
Chief.
stuff.
I'm basically Master Chief.
He killed a Reaper. Like this guy.
He's unbeatable.
Yeah. I refuse to believe that he would be beaten so easily.
You're nothing.
So finally, after you have been humiliated by this assassin twice, you finally are just in a boss match against him.
Yeah, you actually have to fight him.
Yeah. So
how wrecked did you get?
so he is
the
actually
question.
extremely easy.
Oh,
The problem,
is he summons a bunch of phantoms?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
So he summons other enemies.
Classic.
So what he does is he like leaps into the air and he punches the ground and it like
Super
breaks
cool.
the ground. And then he summons a bunch of Cerberus troops. The first couple of waves of them, really easy. They're just regular enemies, whatever. And then the third thing, he summons these phantoms. And you have basically nowhere to hide.
Yeah, you don't have good
And this
cover
is
or
a
anything.
shoot from cover game.
Yeah, 100%.
And then they wipe out your shields instantly. And then you just die.
You just die.
And so I finally, after
awesome.
a few attempts of this and having to rewatch the cutscene over and over again, you
Yeah.
can skip some of it, but not all of it.
Classic, like, RPG. Like,
Yeah.
just get past the cutscene.
I finally
This is my 10th
gave
attempt.
in, and for the first time in a Mass Effect game, lowered the difficulty.
So sad.
And it made it way too easy, unfortunately.
It
But
always feels kind of lame, yeah.
and then after that was like the final like stretch where you like go back to Earth with the whole might of the fleets of all the alien races all combined together to fight the Reapers.
Nice.
And I went ahead and left the difficulty low,
Yep.
and I'm glad I did because there's a
That was
level
tough,
where there
probably.
are 4 brutes in one spot.
Nice.
I would never have beaten
God.
them. It's like if it weren't for these 3 enemies that are really tough, and even the Banshees, frankly, I could have handled.
Sure.
If it weren't for these 3 enemies, I would never have had to lower the difficulty. It's only those 3 because it actually makes the rest of the game too easy.
Right. That's a shame. Mm-hmm. Yeah, balancing difficulties. Tough.
But yeah, but so you reach the end of the game and you have the option to either destroy the Reapers or control the Reapers.
Jeez. Wow.
I chose to destroy them,
Yes.
but
As a
now
good-
I
as a
now
good
I want to
person?
like watch a YouTube video
Yeah,
where you
curious how that
controlled them
works.
and see how that works out.
Messed
There's
up.
also okay. One thing I did not like about Mass Effect 3. So while you're playing, there's this war room. And in that war room, you can see the readiness level of the galactic fleet. How prepared are they to fight? And you even have this meter that says you have to reach this point to be strong enough to take on the Reapers. I blew past that because I did all the side quests.
Right. So, as
But-
you would expect, yeah.
But the game permanently showed a readiness level of 50%. The only way to get that higher is to play multiplayer.
What?
And that's
Weird.
also if you have to play multiplayer to unlock certain things in the game in order to encourage people to play multiplayer, and I hate that. It's like
Don't force
no game
me to play
should
multiplayer.
no game should ever block anything behind multiplayer.
Yeah. Interesting.
But so because of that, I had no way of doing the third ending, which is
Spoilers.
the synthetics, as in the Geth and the Reapers, as well as human and as all as organic life, so humans, Asari, all the other alien races, combine. And all of the organics become partially synthetic, and all the synthetics become partially organic. And they all reach an understanding with each other, and they all like work together to
peace.
rebuild the universe. Yeah, the
Weird.
galaxy. Yeah. So I want to watch those
Interesting.
2 other
Yeah.
endings. But yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
So yeah, that was
I
Mass
suppose
Effect.
that is a very sci-fi ending.
Yeah. So overall, it was pretty good.
But good. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed my time that I
Nice.
spent playing those games.
Yeah. That's one of those, huh?
There's this kind of the last fight is kind of convoluted, I think. So like the Reapers, they're these ships that are shaped like squids, apparently the original race that created the first Reaper looked like that. And so they've all just been built off that template. So there's the big ones, the capital ships. They have like 6 to 8 legs, and they're big, and they have a really big gun. And then they
Big
have
squid with gun. Got it.
and they're usually floating in space and like bombarding the planet from up high, and then also attacking enemy ships. And then on the ground, they have destroyers, which are much smaller, but almost as powerful. And they're just doing the heavy work of just blowing up buildings and killing things. And you're trying to get to this beam of light in the center of London to get into the Citadel, which is floating over Earth now and is all closed up. And you're trying to get to this beam to get up into the Citadel to open the arms and activate the ultimate weapon that will destroy all the Reapers. And there is a single destroyer protecting this thing. It's like, if a human gets in there, they could destroy all the Reapers. And they are protecting it with a single destroyer.
Yeah.
Like,
Interesting choice.
okay. And so
The
you
Reapers
managed
are not
you managed to take that. Now, if the destroyer is standing too close to this beam, any rocket you fire at it just miss. So
Nice.
you have to lure it away, and then you pelt it with these big, huge rockets and destroy
Nice.
it. And so, okay, you've destroyed this, you've blown up this destroyer, and now you're making a mad dash for the beam, and then one of the capital ships just comes down and goes, brr, 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 kills everybody, except Shepard is still barely alive. So he limps over to the beam and makes it up, and yeah.
Wow.
And that
You're like,
seemed a little contrived to me. I'm like, wait, why would... That doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
that that's how that worked
Does not
out,
make any
but okay.
because it needed to be shocking.
Yeah.
No, everybody.
But anyway. So yeah, those are all my thoughts on Mass Effect. That's Mass Effect 3.
It sure is a game in
It
space.
is a game. It is the game of all time. No.
That is the game of space.
Yes.
There you go.
So
That's our Mass Effect podcast.
When I was preparing, I was like, okay, I'm going to play KOTOR, but I have a strong urge to do more Pokemon stuff.
No way.
And so I did start a new save.
Hey guys, we're entering the Pokemon segment
Yep.
of the podcast.
You've been warned.
Strap in.
Yep. So, first of all,
What are you playing?
First of all, I have this
I'm also
tool
playing Pokemon.
called Mod.exe, which has a bunch, which is a binary editor for Fire Red, Leaf Green, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, just Gen 3
Gen
Pokemon.
3. Okay.
And it has a lot of cool little tweaks, like physical split for attacks.
Oh, sweet. Heck yeah.
Things like it brings in the repel system from Black and White. So when you use
just hit
repel,
yes.
it prompts you to use another one. And just lots of little quality of life improvements.
Very nice. Very nice.
One of the ones I enabled is all IVs are maxed out for all Pokemon, not just yours.
Everyone's.
So your starter, all wild Pokemon, all trainer Pokemon, just
Wow.
max
so
IVs.
just Pokemon are more powerful in general.
Because there's another one that all IVs are 0 or 1.
Dang.
So you can have everybody
That's
have
tough.
bad IVs. And then there's one
a lot
I
of
think
EV
that's just
training in that.
for wild Pokemon. Also, I have a thing on that lets me see all the EVs of my Pokemon.
Wow,
all
that's
the EVs
nice.
and IVs,
That's really
which
nice.
is great. I didn't realize how quickly you stack them up.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Pokemon that's only like level 18 or something that has like 400 IVs already. Or not 400, like 40 IVs or EVs.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
mean-
252 max. So,
yeah. And you can get like, 3 up to 3 per Pokemon you fight. I think is the number. So
Yeah. But
And
yeah,
isn't
I
it-
just...
and-
And they're very uneven, too. Like, I've tried to... but anyway.
Yeah.
Let me talk about the premise behind this playthrough.
okay.
So first, I plugged in all those quality of life improvements,
Uh-huh.
and so that's going to be nice. I wanted to start with a team of 6, basically,
Okay. From the get-go.
from extremely early on. Now,
My goal in any Pokemon game. So yes, I understand.
so the first 4 of the team were going to be very easy. I didn't have to do anything special to get them. Squirtle starter, Pikachu, Fearow,
Whoa.
Mankey.
Whoa.
But
I've never heard you use these Pokemon before.
The other 2 Pokemon I was not going to be able to get until later in the game unless I did something about it.
Unless you hacked him in.
So I wanted a fire type and a ground type. So my go-to would be Diglett,
Okay.
but instead I
Very
chose
exciting.
Cubone.
Oh, very, very different.
So I just
Cubone's
changed.
okay.
I just made it so all wild Pokemon were Cubone,
Right,
and I
right.
went into like Route 1 and caught a Cubone, and then I changed all wild Pokemon to Charmander and caught a Charmander.
Charmander, nice.
So that was by the time before I got to Pewter City, I had my team of
Full
6:
team, yeah.
Squirtle, Pikachu, Spearow, Mankey, Charmander, Cubone.
I like it.
Cubone, of course, does not learn a damaging move until level 12, I think. So,
Dang.
so I had to just
Yikes.
switch out in order to get him.
Yep. That's awesome.
But I think because of that, he has more EVs than anybody else.
Oh,
because
yeah.
he participated in more battles.
There you go. That's awesome.
But now he has Bone Club, and so
Yeah.
he's good.
Bone Club's good. So
So you know what's
the proprietary ground type move.
I was looking through my stat spreadsheet, and it turns out, so you know me, I tend to go for fastest, strongest Pokemon.
for sure.
No one on my team meets that criteria.
No.
Blastoise is barely middle of the pack in terms of water types because there's so many strong water types. And
Yeah. Gyarados,
Gen
Tentacruel, Lapras.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A lot of good ones.
And then
Vaporeon.
like
Hello.
Raichu is kind of the worst fully evolved electric type.
Yeah. Who's the best? Jolteon?
Yeah, I would, according to my definition,
Yeah.
Magneton has higher special even,
Oh, yeah.
a special attack, and then
I mean,
Electrode.
Magnezone is fantastic.
Electrode is the fastest Pokemon
That's true.
in Gen 1.
Not
and
great special attack, though, right?
higher than Raichu's.
Oh, really? Jeez. And Raichu's okay, so I guess Electrode's pretty good, huh?
I think it's just that electric types
crazy.
are just really good in general. So,
Yeah. That's Gen 1 especially, yeah.
yeah. And then
Interesting.
and I think Pikachu is the weakest electric type.
I mean, yeah, Pikachu sucks. So.
Like weaker than Magnemite or Voltorb.
Yeah. Wow, interesting.
So yeah.
Very interesting.
And then Cubone is basically the worst pure ground type.
yeah. Yeah.
And then Charmander and Squirtle are respectively the weakest fire and water types.
Yeah. Is Charmander weaker than Ponyta?
Yeah.
Wow. I always think of Ponyta as horrible, so
Ponyta's stat total is higher than even Vulpix.
yeah. Well, Vulpix isn't great. I just love it.
Yeah.
So,
Vulpix is like Charmander, but slightly better.
yeah.
And then Squirtle is weaker than Goldeen.
Wow. That sucks.
Yeah. I always think of the
so
starters as really strong, but
Yeah.
frankly, they're kind of bad.
And I think of Goldeen as just awful.
It's just that they grow by leaps and bounds when they
Right.
evolve. Like
Right.
Wartortle is
Way
pretty good, and then
stronger.
Blastoise is great.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But yeah,
So I really wanted to play my Game Boy Micro
Mm-hmm.
just because it's awesome. And I had Leaf Green in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing a playthrough where I was at Surge.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was playing around on that just because it looked fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right? And tried Surge, lost because I had a horrible team for Surge. I had a Squirtle and a Pikachu and a Pidgeotto. Not a great team for Surge. And I was just not having that much fun, I found. And I was thinking about like, oh, what I should get, something different for my team. I should get like, I'd be like, it'd be fun to do like a Vileplume. I never use Vileplume.
Yeah.
But I was playing Leaf Green, and Oddish is not in Leaf Green,
Right.
only in Fire Red. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. Then I thought about like, oh, what kind of should I get an evolution soon? And after thinking about it for a while, I was like, I don't want to play this. I decided this doesn't sound fun to me at all. And not because Gen 1 is terrible or anything, and this was even, Gen 3. I like modern Pokemon a lot more. I like having more options for Pokemon. I love the quality of life improvements. I love the graphical improvements. I'm just like, it's so much more pleasant to me. I don't know. So I'm playing Ultra Moon instead. I don't know. I know for you, I'm sure there's a lot of nostalgia there, and that helps.
Well, yeah, obviously.
That helps, but I don't know. I always feel like I have to jump through a lot of hoops to get anything I want done in the older games in general. And yeah, I don't know. But Ultraman's really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I don't know if it's just in the Ultra, or it was in Sun and Moon also. There's a bunch of little things that are cute and fun in it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of interactions with NPCs even that are like interesting. And I'm like, they really put some stuff in this, and I like that. Like I went to a Pokemon Center, went to the little cafe area that's next to it. And I was talking to the dude, and then the nurse stops me, who's behind the counter. And she goes, hey, hang on, that sounds good. I'm going to take a break too. And there's this whole cutscene where she sits next to you, and you talk and like have a coffee or something.
Wow.
And she's talking about her job, basically. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, how random and fun is that? And that crap would never happen in Gen 3 or before, and then the options for Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's easier to get them early on. Like, I think of Sword and Shield especially. You can have such a huge variety of Pokemon, even before the first gym. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's nice.
Yeah, it turns out exclusivity it's fun when you're a kid and you're playing it for the first time, but it gets old quick.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm more and more realizing that sometimes graphics do matter to me.
Yeah.
I just feel like in some older games, I feel lost a little bit. Just like I'm very unimmersed, and it just is annoying. Even like menu UI stuff, and like, I don't know.
You know what's funny is graphics do matter to me, but sometimes I actually prefer the older ones.
No, I mean, I think that does happen still
It's like,
to me too, but
honestly, my dream Pokemon game would probably be like my dream Kanto remake or whatever. Not well, no, let me rephrase all of that.
yeah.
If I was making a ROM hack of Gen 3, which is something I would love to do, I just don't think I'll ever actually have the time.
A lot of effort, yeah.
But I would love to take the Gen 1 assets, all the visuals and all the sounds, but with the Gen 3 engine.
Interesting. Okay.
So all the mechanics in the engine of Gen 3,
Yeah.
but the look and feel
Look
of Gen 1.
That'd be
That's what I would
interesting.
love.
Yeah. I feel like that'd be tough to do.
Yeah, it
But
would.
probably be pretty cool.
I don't know what would be harder, doing the Gen 3 engine with Gen 1 assets or fixing Gen 1. Right. I don't actually know which would be harder.
That's impossible. There's hundreds of glitches in that game.
Yeah.
I gotta find that video and send it to you. I forgot to do that. I mentioned it in a previous episode, but someone talking about if it's possible to play it glitchless. Yeah, I gotta find that and send that to you.
I watched Wolfie do Emerald Kaizo Nuzlocke.
Yeah. So insane. Yeah. Ugh. That's fun stuff.
And he just had to get to I think it was the third gym leader, Watson.
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 Yeah, Watson.
Yeah. He just had to beat him,
Okay.
and then he would complete the challenge. And then it was Pros Nuzlocke guy, Pokemon Challenges YouTube channel. He had to get to a certain ranking in Pokemon Showdown. Competitive
nice.
Pokemon.
Nice.
And so
They were playing each other's
yeah.
things. Yeah. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just.
And so it took Wolfie, it was his 10th attempt.
Jeez, really?
Yeah.
So he
and
got fully wiped 9 times.
Yeah. And he got all the lucky things.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's RNG for
now
sure.
he didn't get this one lantern with this one ability, which makes the run way easier.
Okay.
And he just didn't get it. And it was like, oh, so you're kind of screwed on Watson, except that his son Flora freaking carried him.
Sunflora.
Sunflora wiped the floor with Watson.
That's like one of the worst Pokemon ever.
You would think so, but no. It's
Apparently
actually
not.
really good.
Apparently it can be good. That's amazing.
Yeah, it basically solo carried the whole Watson fight.
Bruh. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So on my current Pokemon playthrough, which is currently on pause while I'm playing KOTOR more seriously, but I have beaten Misty and I'm getting through SSN and Route 11. My team's all like level 18-ish.
That's pretty low for that, yeah. But I guess you have 6.
But it's 6 Pokemon, so
yeah.
it's like I was under leveled for Misty, and I did lose on my first attempt, even with 6 Pokemon. But it's like but they just kept getting one shot.
Yeah. Starmie's tough.
Yeah. Well, even Staryu did its fair share of fighting.
Nice.
But once Pikachu was strong enough to take out Staryu and damage Starmie, and then the Wartortle was able to come in and finish off Starmie. Combine that water resistance with Bite, and you're golden.
Yeah, I'm continuing a playthrough I started a long time ago in Ultramoon. But it's a really cool team. It's a lot of like dark birds and ghosts and stuff. It's a very dark, spooky team. So Decidueye, obviously.
Yeah.
What a beast. So freaking awesome. And then I have a Noctowl, who's a great, well, not great. He's an okay psychic type. He learns a lot of psychic moves.
Yeah.
And then I have a Murkrow, who's about to be a Honchkrow. I'm about to get a Duskstone, which is awesome. And then I have a Shelgon, gonna have a Salamence. A lot of birds, a lot of flying types. And I have a Litwick. So he's almost a Lantern. Not Lantern. Lantern?
No, that's Chinchou's evolution.
Lantern. Not Chandelure. Lampert.
Lampent.
That's right. And then I'm actually about
There's Lantern and Lampent.
Yeah,
wow.
Totally different Pokemon. I'm about to do the trial inside the abandoned supermarket, the ghost one.
Oh yeah.
So I'm actually gonna catch a Mimikyu in there and put it on my team. So that'll be my 6th.
Did you see the announcement of the Candle Doggo?
Yeah, Grievard dog is one of my podcast notes.
Yeah.
Yes, Grievard is what he's called. It's the 2nd or 3rd good boy so far already for Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, he's cool. I like him. A weird shaggy dog with a candle on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of cute and terrifying at the same time. He's a bit
Reminds
scary.
me a little of Hisui and Growlithe.
Yeah, for sure. That one has just no eyes. It's just
Yeah.
hair and stuff. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's cute. There was some, I don't know if it was like GameSpot or IGN or something, had some more gameplay footage that they posted. And watching it, I was like, I really hope this is early footage, basically. I really hope this isn't actual gameplay that we'll be getting, because it was janky looking.
Oh yeah.
Like way jankier than Legends Arceus or Sword and Shield. But I think that was just early stuff. But like when they were using the legendary to go through terrain and stuff, going from running to gliding and then climbing up a hill looked atrocious, honestly. Honestly. And I'm usually really nice about this stuff. I don't usually care that much, but it looked bad. Way worse than Sword and Shield or Legends Arceus. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's fine. But it had me worried a little bit for a second.
No.
But I think in general, these will be very good games. So I'm not going to let that deter me at all. But it was surprising a little bit. Did you hear about the gym badges?
No, I guess
There's
not.
18 gym badges.
Holy crap.
There is a gym badge for every type.
Wow.
And not every single one of them will be formal gyms, basically. But you'll be getting badges for, like, they've shown off that girl who's like a leader of Team Star.
Yeah.
She's like a fire type leader. And she's not a gym leader. She's like part of the bad guy team. But defeating her, you'll get the fire badge for that.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of badges, but they're not all nice formal gyms and stuff. So that's interesting. Yeah. And the whole terrestrialize thing, I think, is going to add quite a bit to strategy because it gives you other types, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you can very quickly become resistant to the one thing you were weak to and stuff. Like, that's quite a lot of implication there. So
Yeah.
it's super close. It's just a few weeks away. Like, it's weeks from releasing now at this point.
No.
So pretty cool. We'll see. Are you getting Scarlet?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting Violet. So
Right.
I was just assuming. Usually we get different versions, but
Keep the tradition alive.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I got Shield and you got Sword, so yeah. Although I think we both got Moon,
Yeah.
but I have Sun and Moon, so
Right.
I guess the only game where I have both versions. No, now I have Gold and Silver cartridges. Yeah. Yep, that's it. I was thinking the 3DS really is, I think I've said this before, it's like one of the ultimate Pokemon systems.
Yeah.
Because you can download from the eShop Gen 1 and 2. Gen 3 you can play through the remake Alpha Sapphire. And then Gen 4 and 5 are just DS games. You can just play in the original cartridges. And then obviously X, Y, and Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon.
Black and white.
Yeah. Gen 4 and 5. Yeah, so it can play through Gen 1 to Gen 7. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Cool.
How long have we been going? I didn't put a timer.
Oh, just over an hour.
We did it.
Yep.
Guys, we did it. That was all my notes. Do you have notes? Where are your notes, Brian?
They were in my noggin.
Noggin notes?
Noggin notes.
You know, there's 100 notes in each level. So
Of what?
So
Of what?
That's Banjo-Kazooie, bro.
Of what?
That's Banjo-Kazooie. Ikam bokum. Ikam bokum.
Some game I've never played. Okay.
Yeah, one of the best games of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's like the best. It's like the best platformer ever. So there you go.
I feel like I've played so many
Mario
games like
64.
it.
It
that,
rivals
like,
Mario
yeah.
64.
Wow.
It's like you think it's gonna be one of those like weird Disney games or something that is not good.
Yeah.
Like it looks like Gex,
Yeah.
right? But then it's like, oh, but this is actually good. It's like it's 10 times better than Donkey Kong 64, which is like a full-on, Nintendo rare thing. No, nothing compared to Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, absurdly good. Anyway, that's it, I guess.
I keep yawning, so I guess it's time to stop.
It's late. It's late. I had a caffeine-free tea. I'm good.
All right.
All
so
right. I guess we're done.
let's do our housekeeping. Twitter.
Hey, go and watch Twitter. Please download. please download the podcast. We have to know. It's the only way we'll know you listen to it.
Yeah.
Also follow us on Twitter at the Brothers G Pod. That's the Brothers G Pod on Twitter at the Brothers G Pod. You can find us on Twitter at the Brothers G Pod.
You can also check out our subreddit, r/Brothers Game Podcast.
I like how they're all different.
Yep.
Perfect brand unity. That's it.
Yep.
That's all I can think of.
Goodbye.
Leave us a comment, talk to us, hit us up at the Brothers G Pod on Twitter. Bye.
Bye.